Alrighty, guys. Hello and welcome back to the show. Guess we're gonna call me the freaking McRib of Forged Alliance Forever's casters, I guess, at this point, because we're here one day, we're gone the next. I don't know. I'm just bored, honestly. It's been a pretty slow time at work, and so my boredom is y'all's benefit, I guess, and I get to go back to casting for a little bit. So we're gonna knock out a few casts today, and hopefully y'all enjoy them. But for this one right now, we got Neuroxis Map Generator, as is customary, of course, for anybody that has watched any of my videos in the past. Uniquely generated map. We got 4v4, team 1 up at the top, team 2 down at the bottom, as is customary. And we'll go ahead and get into introducing our players. Starting off with Cheerios. He's going for UEF. He's got the hot pink thing going on, I guess. I don't know. He probably random that color. I just always played whatever color was even available to me. But lots of reclaim on this map. You can see shitloads of rocks all over the place for these players to reclaim. But continuing with the introductions, we have Nomander, who is also going UEF in kind of a bronzish, yellowy color. I don't know. I'm trying to do the Guile thing with like fun color names, and I don't know, the best I can come up with is bronzish yellowish. So I'm a really fun guy, obviously, but he's going UEF first land. Down to his south, he's got as a Cybran, Deus Flex Machine, who's like I said, going Cybran, going first land. Got the Hydro working, going second air, shitloads of power regen or power generators already queued up with his last max extractor. And the last player for team number 1 is going to be Melon Pippin Collie. Loving the Lord of the Rings reference there, but he's going UEF. Got 4 land factories queued up, second air factory, so first land, second air. And again, lots of power queued up, which makes sense because there is a ton of reclaim on this map. Let's see if this mod installed correctly. It did not, but you can see all of these rocks worth about 300 or 100 to 200 reclaim on the mass side. So just like 4 or 5 of these is going to get you your first T2 mechs, which is pretty incredible. But going on to team number 2, we have the Mean Machine, who's going Cybran, easily the best faction. First land, second air, lots of power queued up. You guys know the drill at this point. Down to his south, we have Dorset, who's also going Cybran. Lots of land factories queued up for this guy. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 land factories, counting the one that he's already built, and getting some initial power set up for what looks to be an air factory in the future. Down on the far south of the team is Shady Socks, who's focusing almost entirely on power at this point, actually going for a second land factory. Right as I said that, because that's exactly how these things work. I make a claim as a caster and pretend that I know anything about this game, and then we find out that I actually know nothing about this game. And down towards the bottom, I guess this would be rear guard air position, we have Caliber going UEF, tons of power. Once again, first land. I would anticipate him going second air, trying to get as much of this juicy reclaim as he can. Slingshot that economy all the way to T3. And then get that going. But on the economy game, lots of mass on this map, lots of mexes available to our players. So I'm sure we're going to see them abusing said mass, put on a wife beater and abuse that mass. Is that joke okay to make? Oh my God. All right. I'm so out of this, like from a YouTube perspective. But anyway, talking about the team's player ratings, we've got 2K in Shady Socks. He's kind of the ringer here for the Southern team. It's this guy right here in the kind of lime green. There's a fun color, lime green, not at all stereotypical. Down on the southern side of the map, going to be expanding out towards trying to take control over this entire southern side and then freeze out his opponent, Melon Pippin Collie. And meanwhile, the ringer for the North team is Normander, up at 2100 rating. And man, I remember whenever this guy was like 1500 several years ago, whenever I was playing against him. Obviously, he could, take me to lunch right now, but doing a much better job of expanding. A similar strategy, wants to lock down this whole northern area, but doing a little bit better on the expansion strategy than his counterpart, Shady Socks, down at the bottom. A little bit of a bombing raid coming in from the Mean Machine. There is mobile anti-air. Gonna bag a couple of engineers, but that's gonna be pretty much the end of it. So not the end of the world there for Normander in this expansion, especially because he's already got 2 land factories down. He's got multiple other engineers, more land factories queued up. He's feeling pretty good about that expansion, I would say. His opponent going for a little bit of a slower expansion. I think these engineers just walked out there, dropping a point defense down, getting these 4 mass extractors. So this is going to be a point of contention between these 2 players, as 4 mass extractors exceedingly valuable in the early game. Mean Machine also tons of land factories queued up. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 land factories queued up. That is ambitious from a T1 perspective. So Mean Machine going all in on the T1 phase. And you can see that with both bombers and T1 land. Bombers not too effective though, as Normander does have interceptors out to, guess what, intercept the bombers. See what I did there? Yeah, I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, let's be real, it's probably just gentlemen. But we got land factories down here as well for Mean Machine, and some of our first land skirmishes happening towards the south between Deus Flex Machine as well as Dorset. Dorset once again playing that Cybran best faction, Mantis best T1 land unit, in my opinion. And because I'm the caster, I'm always right. Walking his commander out here as well. Deus Flex Machine got a little bit of a T1 land force, but very spread out, so doesn't want to run into this whole clump that Dorset has here to, you know, clip his wings or, you know, turn off the power to his Deus Flex Machine. And Flex Machine running down south, trying to, I'm guessing, harass Shady Socks here a little bit. A little bit of vulnerability here in this kind of expansion. Land factory not done yet. 1 engineer, 1 tank. There are a couple more tanks that could be called in if Shady Socks is paying attention, and looks like he might be paying attention because we got some more T1 land units moving in to defend this position. So this little run by probably not going to turn into much of anything, even though we do have Mantis, the best T1 land units, or they're just going to smile and wave at each other as they run past. And Mantis are going to bag themselves a mechs. And that's about it. Good raid. Good raid. But the lion's share of the force is back behind him. So several other Mantis, and we actually have Mel and Pippin Collie also moving in with a T1 land force. Shady Socks does not have much of a T1 presence right now. He's going for a T2 upgrade on his commander, but has slungshot himself all the way to T2. So he's got parashields out on the map already, and is only producing parashields. Nope, I take that back. He's got a pillar, a couple pillars out on this out on the battlefield right now. So that'll definitely help him with dealing with the T1 spam, indubitably. And you can see Deus Flex Machines, T1 forces wiped out there. Next target is going to be the T1 forces here for Melon, Pippin, Collie. Is going to lose that land factory as well as this expansion, which is not great. Again, remember, Shady Socks, 2K player on this team. You want him to be dominating this southern side of the map, and right now he's under pressure and is unable to set up in the way that he wants to set up to take this down. Parashield's offering a good amount of protection here, but there's just not enough firepower. There's only 2 pillars in this mix. All the parashields are going to go down. Pillars soon to follow. Pillars, great units. Super cheap, really high value on the HP side. But if you don't have enough of them, it's really hard to make something happen here. And we'll check in on that T1 as we'll check back in on that T1 little raid down there. You can see it going on the minimap. They're going to bag an engineer here. But Normander, who has done what Shady Socks wanted to do on the south, in the north, he is completely taken over the northern side of the map. Got himself good manufacturing base here. also has T2 on the field with pillars taking down some of Mean Machine's land factories here in the front. And Mean Machine is entirely on the defensive. So not looking great for the bottom team right now, where everybody is losing everywhere. Normander has not Normander. Shady Socks has not been able to expand where he wanted to expand. And he'll be able to get some reclaim from these as soon as he gets some critical mass on these pillars. But that does mean that he is going to be behind overall relative to Normander, who has been able to sit with a lot of this mass base for a large portion of the game. Looks like Mean Machine tried to hit back here. Ran into superior T1 numbers as well as T2 units here coming up from the south. And I thought I saw a Rhino shot, but no, these are all just Mantis. And it seems that both players are going to call it a draw. Normander has defended his territory. We do have a nice little bomber out here taking out some artillery there for Mean Machine. No anti-air interceptors to speak of. And Mean Machine's commander with the gun upgrade is in a very unoptimal position right now. There are actually rhinos out here, so we do have rhinos on the field for Mean Machine. Rhinos will trade better against Tech 2, especially whenever they have a commander that is overcharging, supporting them. Right now the commander seems to be attacking his own rhino, which is great. There's of course no friendly fire in this game in case, anybody's concerned. But the commander with the overcharge and the Tech 2 out of Mean Machine right now is going to cause Normander to rethink potentially this offensive and instead turn more to the defensive. And we haven't talked a ton about the middle, but we do have Dorset out here with a gun upgrade on his commander. He's been causing some decent problems. Might be the one saving grace here for Team 2 right now, as Dorset does have a relatively good hold here on the middle and has forced Deus Flex Machine to stop beating up on Shady Socks quite as much and put pressure on that middle position, which is exactly what you want to see out of your middle player, instead of allowing the other team's middle player to just kind of play and support both flanks. Going for a stealth upgrade as well. T2 on the way for Deus Flex Machine, so might be looking to dig in a little bit more. It does look like he has a shield generator and some Cerberus queued up after the fact, so looking more for to hold the middle and then use his units, I'm going to assume, to support the sides. But surprisingly, at 13 minutes in the game, we have a Tech 3 land factory already. I don't know if actually that's surprising considering how much reclaim there was on this map, but we got Tech 3 out of Deus Flex Machine. We also have Tech 3 out of Normander on the UEF land side. We can go back to our southern team, see what kind of Tech 3 we got. Okay, so we got some Percivals coming out here for Shady Socks. Already got Tech 3 energy infrastructure up as well. So Shady Socks economy feeling relatively good, even though he's still been under immense pressure from the 1200 player Melon Pippin Collie. Those early moves to really throw Shady Socks off balance, I think has caused him to fall a little bit behind. I don't know, we can look and see at the mass rate income. So comparing Normander to Shady Socks, Normander up at 163, Shady Socks at 155. Okay, so not as much as I thought. I thought this was going to be a little bit more of an issue long term for Shady Socks, but it seems like he's done pretty well to maintain his economy through the pressure and the just kind of incessant raids that have been happening through here. No doubt partially because of these reclaim, and you can see him also dropping triad point defense because he's really sick and tired of these little raids that are popping in and out of his eco in the back line. Because again, he's going to lose 3 mexes. I think these are Tech 2 mexes. No, these are Tech 1, I'm pretty sure, based on the wreckage. So Tech 1 mexes, but still, I mean, that's more actions per minute you gotta spend to regain that economy. We have Mean Machine apparently committing suicide. Walking into tons of Triad fire, tons of Tech 1. If Normander wanted him gone, he could shift G his units right now and end him. But again, Normander 2100, Mean Machine 1400, recognizes that maybe it's not the best idea to take out the 1400 out of the game right now because this economy is going to go to shady socks, and he does not want that. Meanwhile, Mean Machine just trying to, save himself and extend any of the evil that the Mean Machine would want for the life of his... What are words, guys? I don't know. But Tech 2 response out from Mean Machine right now. Rhino's absolutely mowing down these Tech 1 units. We do have a Tech 3 land factory here that is producing Percivals. Tech 2 shield, lots of Triads here as well. First Percival has come off of the production line. So we'll see how much damage these Rhinos can actually do. It might actually be better to just run these Rhinos past and instead get into Normander's eco in the back line. Which it seems that's what Mean Machine wants to do here is, instead of just throwing his units away against point defense, he's going to try and save what little he can, run past the point defense, and instead focus on some of the eco. So he's going to bag himself a Tech 2 mechs there, which is, fine. He did donate, a couple thousand in reclaim, but I guess it all depends on whether or not this run by is actually worth it. He's only got one Rhino left and one Mantis left that made it past the point defense base there. So we'll see how these guys play out, but down in the middle we do have another engagement that is brewing between the bricks that have come off of the Tech 3 production lines there for Deus Flex Machina. Absolutely mowing everything down in their way. Responding bricks, though, out of Dorset, our 1100 rated player. I think the lowest rated player in this game. No, actually Deus Flex Machine is similarly rated. So they mirrored these guys, 1100, 1100. Titans out of Normander conducting a raid on Mean Machine here. Mean Machine. Wow, I guess there was a different raid that I missed earlier that took out a little bit of the eco. So this is a follow-up raid that we're seeing right here. Let's run into some point defense. Hastily thrown up by Mean Machine. But still going to do a decent amount of damage. Going to take out all of that production. Whether that production was worth it or not, because at 17 minutes into the game, Tech 1 land, not as big a bang for your buck anymore. Actually, it's a super big bang for your buck, but, it's all about condensed damage per second at this point in the game. What is going to hurt a little bit more, though, is losing these mass extractors. This one, 93% of the way upgraded. I'm pretty sure it's going to go down. Actually, I take that back. This might finish, because the Loyalists show up from Mean Machine. Going to be able to clean up a lot of this mess. And the bricks from Deus Flex Machine. Going to go down. What is a Deus Flex Machine? Would that be like, because wasn't it Deus Ex Machina where you just have like the girl that has like a head and shoulders and that's it? Is that Deus Ex Machina, if I'm remembering correctly? I know there was like a stealth kind of game called Deus Ex way back in the day, because I remember my dad played it, and I think they did a remake. I never actually played it. But a Deus Flex Machine, assuming it's the girl that... Meanwhile, there's a raid that's happening here. I'll let you guys watch it while I pontificate. But if it's Deus Flex Machine and Deus Machina was the girl with the shoulders and everything, would a Deus Flex Machine just be where that girl, like, flexes her neck muscles over and over again? Because there are workout machines that are supposed to, like, strengthen your neck muscles. So I guess that would be all it is this guy has just like put himself into one of those workout machines for, years, and has now become Deus Flex Machine. Intrusive thoughts with the duelist. Let's go. Okay, this base is done. Tech 3, Tech 2, overran it. Point defense, gonna do what they can. Not gonna be able to fix the whole problem. A couple of Percivals airdropped in. Again, not going to be able to fix it. So that's going to be a little bit of Tech 3 manufacturing down for Normander. But he's also hitting back with a bunch of Tech 1 artillery here. Dorset has also built an experimental unit. Considering he is Cybran, I would imagine that's a Monkey Lord. Let's head down here and check. Yes, I am correct. Looking to microwave himself up some chicken, except there's actually no Seraphim on the other side. Actually, this entire game is just Cybran and UEF. No Aeon, no Seraphim. So he's not looking to microwave himself up some chicken. Maybe he's looking to microwave himself up some crab, or maybe an obese child. I don't know. We'll see. Gunships out from the air player. We haven't really talked about the air players very much because there's been so much like hitting forward and backward between the land players where raiding economy, not raiding economy, losing economy, gaining economy, etc. Meanwhile, Tech 3 on the field there for Melon, Pip, and Kali. Wow, that's interesting. There was a T3 drop back here that did take out a Tech 3 Max. So that's fun. It'll be rebuilt by Mean Machine. But let's talk about the air players here real quick. So on Caliber's side, we have 89 ASF. On Cheerios' side, we have 93 ASF. So pretty even. At that point, it really just comes down to maneuvering between the two. Nice little run by here for Mean Machine. I'm pretty sure this was the same run by that we saw decimate the firebase a little bit earlier. Now he's getting into Normander's economy. Normander got a little too complacent maybe, but Normander either at T3 Air himself or was gifted some gunships to deal with this. Let's check on him real quick. Is he at T3 Air? He is at T3 Air. Okay, so Normander is helping out on the T3 Air stage. And that decision potentially cost him an expansion point. 3 mexes, 4 mexes, all T3. Not an inexpensive amount to lose. I didn't even see this little firebase here. That must have gone up really quickly, but the Monkey Lord will make quick work of it. I'm out of practice on the casting game, guys. I did review this replay before, so I don't know why I told you guys that. I should have said that I was coming into this replay blind, because if I had said that I reviewed it before, it means that I should know all the things that happened, but instead I'm just missing some stuff, so, you know, great. Gunships and ASF and bombers and lions and tigers, oh my, out of team number 1. So Normander taking a little bit of a hit on his economy. Let's see what that actually looks like. So mass income, we have Cheerios as kind of our chip leader here at 594. Down at 409 we have Dorset. That's got to be Reclaim. I find that hard to believe that a middle player that's also playing front would be the second rated player. But yeah, 611. Okay, this is also going to be Reclaim inflated as well. 143 though for Normander, losing a lot of these Tech 3 mexes. Definitely put, you know, a sock in his plan. And speaking of socks, we got Shady Socks here at 341. So Shady Socks has now taken over most of the southern portion of the map. He does have some mexes here that he could take. My guess is that those mexes are just a little bit too risky with this ball of titans that's bumping around here in the map. And a little gunship action here out of the air player. Bunch of broadswords set up. And Mean Machine trying to hit back against these incessant T1 artillery raids. Air fight though as well. And it looks like the Caliber caught Cheerios a little bit sleeping here, and I think Caliber's going to clean up here, getting better turns. You can see just how many more shots are coming out of Caliber's ASF than out of Cheerios. Cheerios going to get absolutely annihilated there in the air fight. Great turns there out of our air player, and now he's going to go clean up some of these gunships out of both Normander as well as Cheerios. I would expect to see these broadswords go down as well, hoping that the, you know, assuming that the air player is paying attention. Is he? Maybe? Sort of? There we go. Full engagement there. Oh, and he actually just control K's him. He's like, you will not have the satisfaction of killing my gunships with your ASF. Such a petty thing. Monkey Lord still bumping around here in the middle for Dorset. Hasn't really used it offensively. It looks like he just mostly wants to use it defensively. 2 ranks of vet, 57 kills. Pretty good rate of return on that experimental. So what you want to see out of an experimental, you want to see kills, you want to see value. You don't want to see, finishing an experimental and then sending it against unbeatable forces and then immediately dying. Broadswords here from Caliber. Sam turret, though, up for Normander. It's going to take one Sam a while to kill these gunships, though. If all the gunships focused, they could take this Sam out, as well as the engineers building additional flak. And Normander watched my video on flak AA. Unfortunately, he did it a little bit too late. But whenever you have a cloud of gunships like this, flak AA is going to do more AoE damage and give you better value than SAMs. They're also cheaper and easier to spam up. So they're really good. They're a really good kind of last-minute defense. I think they're better than T1 AA as well. I don't know. Again, been out of the FAF game for so long. Who knows if I know anything anymore. Well, that was pretty devastating as well. Percival's, I'm guessing airdropped or gifted. I don't know. I don't know how Caliber got Percival's. Does he have T3 land? Why would he have T3 land? He does have T3 land. Why does our air player, as if I'm like rooting for team 2. Why does the air player have T3 land? Seems like a little bit of a waste. I mean, I get making like some fat boys and giving them over to your allies, sure, but I don't know why you would invest in Tech 3 land as an air player. I'll get corrected in the comments. If you want answers to why an air player would invest in Tech 3 land, go read the comments, because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people down there telling me exactly why you would do it. Speaking of Tech 3 land, Percival's getting hit by triads here from Shady Socks. Trying to decide whether they should stay or whether they should go. And here they've decided to embrace the clash, and now they've decided that they should go. Still going to lose some decent numbers, though. But they will overrun this firebase. Lots of Tech 1 point defense spammed up last minute out of Shady Socks here. Some of his own Percivals as well, helping to take some of the fire while these point defense just absolutely mow down these Percivals. Tech 1 point defense, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of good damage there. There's a reason why people use Tech 1 point defense as tele defense. Okay, apparently Melon Pippin Collie left. Kind of understand why. His base was pretty much overrun. In the middle, we do have experimentals coming in from Dorset, Crab, as well as a Monkey Lord, doing Crab and Monkey Lord things. This game is full share, as pretty much all games are played full share now. So the bottom is going to go to Normander as the highest ranking player, or the highest scoring player, I should say, of team number 1. So Normander gets to inherit this base, or what's left of it. And we have a nuke that is getting launched out from Cheerios. That is going after Shady Socks' base. Shady Socks does not have an SMD. Wait, he does have an SMD, but it is not loaded. So instead of not having an SMD, he has it, but it's not loaded, which I guess is worse, because it means that you spent the mass on the SMD, but it's not loaded, it's not going to protect you, and it will most likely die in the fiery hellstorm that is a nuclear weapon. And okay, that's a RAS commander. I was like, And his commander is right there. And the missile defense did not die either. So, that's good for Shady Socks. Yeah, his commander is somewhere. I used to have a mod that would tell me which one was the commander. I guess now it's either not working or it's not a thing anymore. There he is. He's back here. Under another SMD that is also not loaded. So, and tele defense because, you know, we got Cybran. We do have a defense satellite though out on the field from Cheerios. Defense satellites, not great at getting through shields unless you've got a bunch of them. So what you want to do with this is instead go after all of these Tech 3 mexes that are not shielded. You just grab this guy, shift Q all of these up, and it forces your opponents to build shields around all of their mexes, which I can tell you they don't want to do. But in the middle, nice little advance here, two-pronged, two attacks. We see another defense satellite going over the top there. We'll talk about that in a second. But Megalith as well as Crab. Crab now up to Megalith as well as Spider. Is that a Spider? Yeah, that's a Spider. Spider now up to 127 kills, overrunning this forward fire base. Crab got one level of veterancy at 35 kills, so that's pretty solid as well. But not looking great for Deus Flex Machine here. Needs to get back into that neck strengthener again. Is some mobile AA in this mix too, so strats are going to get hit by that mobile AA. Even if it's not a ton, but it will be enough to, you know, stop them. Dorset could walk in right now. Doesn't look like he wants to. Why? Maybe poor scouting. Who knows? Maybe he's a little worried about the air player and the strats that are coming out, but the strats are going after the experimentals, and I think that's the only one that actually just went down. Both experimentals still decently healthy. They're instead going north after, I'm guessing, Normander's main base. Got a little bit of a fire base here to get through. Ravager and an Omni. Omni would be good to take out, assuming that's the only Omni. An obese child shows up from the east to defend as much as possible. Normander saying, "It's over, I'm poor." And Normander is, well, he's not necessarily poor. He's pulling in 336 mass per second, but compared that to his paramour, Shady Socks, at 653, he is relatively poor. Gunship response here from Cheerios. ASF from, ooh, Caliber. Oh, he's going to lose air. Diving after those broadswords whenever he didn't need to dive after those broadswords. These guys are already retreating. Ooh, lost a significant portion of his air force. And now the air game flips back towards Cheerios' favor. Land game still looking pretty dicey though for team number one. Gunships out from Cheerios, going to be responding against these bricks. We do have a Fat Boy down here as well, going to be providing some long-range artillery support. So we'll see what these bricks can do. Normander's own comm throwing out some overcharges, getting involved in the fight himself. And gunships out from Normander too, dealing with this little northern raiding party out from Mean Machine. Mean Machine could keep expanding up here, although I'm assuming he's, you know, suffering from average Joe-itis, I guess you could say, where, you know, you forget that you can expand to additional mexes. I forget all the time. I'm like, sweet, I've taken all these mexes from my opponent. And then the, you know, natural conclusion would be, so build them yourself. And then I'm like, no, it's fine. I just took them away from my opponent. Forget that. Another Fat Boy out from Cheerios, as well as one out from Normander, unless that might have been gifted over. But Crab bearing down on the base. Based on the Fat Boy and the gunship coverage, though, I don't think this land push is really going to go anywhere. I think it's going to be pretty much stopped, unless the gunships see something shiny and leave. I think the gunships really need to be focusing on this megalith, because this fat boy is now in range of this megalith. And if the crab wanted to, it could attack the fat boy, but it's all about whether it wants to or not. Okay, there we go. Gunships now in on the megalith. Second fat boy here helping out. A little bit more on the artillery side, and then we have the third one back here in the back providing long-range artillery support for these bricks. Crab is going to go down. That's going to be some good reclaim there left for Normander. Whether he can use it or not is a different question. Caliber once again with his ASF in trying to take out these gunships. A little too late though. Too bad he lost like all of his ASF a little bit earlier, trying to fight a battle he wouldn't win. He is going to mop up a lot of the gunships though. Normander's base is now in tatters. Bricks need to focus on these power generators, and they need to focus on one power generator so they get that domino effect here. Instead, they're kind of focusing on some factories. They're focusing on P-gens. Should still be able to get one of these P-gens, which I think is going to cause, yep, there we go, domino effect. Take out that whole swath of the grid. Taking out a significant portion of Normander's power generation, as well as production capabilities in the T3 airspace. Which, I mean, T3 air is not really super important right now for team number 1 for any of the supporting players, because Cheerios does have a pretty decent ASF lock here. I think they need to be focusing a little bit more on the ground game. Normander also kind of playing two sides of the map. This has turned into a really rough game here for team number 1. Resorting to mass T1 bomber spam and gunship defense because there's very little that they can do to oppose on the ground. I think Flex Machine is... I think he might be the only player with Tech 3 land left. I take that back. Cheerios does have Tech 3 land. Was it with the... Oh, this might have been inherited from... No, it wouldn't have been inherited from Mel and Pip and Collie. What is it with the air players building Tech 3 land? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Strategic launch detected.
Hello. We got a Mavor here being built by Cheerios. Look at that. I said hello and Cheerios in the same sentence. I could just say hello, Cheerio, and then I'd be Guile. Got a nuke coming out from Cheerios once again. Does have 3 Novaxes up. Those 3 Novaxes going after Dorset, doing a little bit of damage. This nuke looks like also going after Dorset. They may have bagged the SMD, which might be what this thing was right here. And I'm not seeing an SMD here for Dorset. He was working on a disruptor. So that disruptor is going to get disrupted in its construction. That is a RASCOM main commander up here towards the north. But is going to lose a significant chunk of his main base. Does retain access to 4 Tech 3 P-gens, which is pretty important. Only loses 1 main mechs, so economy-wise, not the end of the world for him. He still has a pretty decent economy, but as far as infrastructure, does lose some manufacturing, so he's going to have to bring that back. But Team 1 just playing the hold on and wait kind of game. Going for the Hail Mary. Mavor. Mavor going up actually decently quickly here. Last time we checked up on it, I believe it was 3,000 HP. Now it's 4,600. So that Mavor is moving pretty quickly. As Cheerios throwing pretty much everything he's got at it. Still has got some mass in the bank. Damn, that dude had a lot of mass stored up, I guess. Or he's floating from a lot of his teammates. Power kind of ebbing in and out here. It might also help with the mass stall. Can't spend all that mass if you don't have any power. What kind of long-term stuff do we have here for team number 2? Because they're up against 3 Novaxes and a Mavor. Are they building anything long-term? Okay, so they have their own Mavor under construction right now. but it's only 600 HP out of 8,000. And it's not moving anywhere near as fast. Shady Socks with a full mass bar here. Needs a little bit more power, though. Getting some from his teammates. Do they know about this Mavor? They have absolutely no idea. So this isn't even a response Mavor. Shady Socks might be thinking he's way ahead of the game here. He's locked down the entire southern part of the map. Normander is in pieces up here. Getting the last remnants of his Fringe Eco raided by Mean Machine. Pretty much locked entirely to his main base. So Shady Socks might be thinking he's in a really good spot here with a Mavor coming up to 2k HP done. While this Mavor, 6,300 coming up on. Therefore, Cheerios. Even going for a stealth generator there. I don't even think they have radar. They don't have radar up here. So they wouldn't be able to tell. Spy planes, though, coming in from Caliber, they are going to see it. See if it gets pinged. It definitely does. Mavor. Yep. Okay. So they know now. Let's see what kind of reaction that causes. We have Mean Machine starting Teleporter. Okay. That might just be because the Novaks have decided that he's their new favorite plaything. Although trying to upgrade Teleporter while under Novak's fire is not great because that takes a ton of energy, which means your shields are not going to be working. Send a mass to Mean Machine. Where is Mean Machine's commander?
Strategic launch detected.
Got another nuke here. Okay, so SMD was here for Mean Machine, but Mean Machine is now the next new lucky recipient of the annual You Win a Nuclear Missile Launch Ball sweepstakes. Sorry, sweepstakes. I remember growing up on like the Campbell's summer sweepstakes, something like that, where you could go and like win a summer in a mansion with like a pool and video games and everything like that. I was like, that sounds like the best thing ever. Now it just sounds like really expensive to buy all the chicken soup that I would need to be able to afford that. So the nuke goes boom. That is it for Mean Machines' energy infrastructure, most of it. It's got 3 Tech 3. Got 3 Tech 3 P-Gens left. Everybody's saying gay Novaks. Cheerios saying cry some more. I don't know if you really have a leg to stand on, though, about shady tactics, considering you're trying to do a strat snipe. Realizing that there is, you know, Tech 3 anti-air on the way. He's not going to be able to make it to his target. That Mavor is online. Where is Shady Socks' Mavor? Shady Socks' Mavor is done. So now Team 1 just need to essentially survive. And really the land pressure is almost entirely gone from Team number 2. I don't know what happened. I guess they're just ran out of gas here. We got 3 Megaliths sitting here doing nothing, getting hit with pot shots from another Megalith. I think that maybe a little bit of an additional land pressure could have been really helpful as far as killing off that Mavor. Maybe at least like clear out a little bit more of the map, make it more difficult. Instead, we're going for strat snipes that are just getting sent into the blender of ASFs that Cheerios has. And so now this becomes very difficult for team number 2 to come back from, as they're under Mavor fire, Novak's fire, every single fire. We do have a Novak's up for Caliber, who incidentally was saying that this was a gay move earlier, but now has decided that he's going to build it himself. So I guess, you know, I don't know. Just decided if you can't beat him, join him, I guess. I don't know. But he has his own Novaks out there. I don't know where it's hitting right now. Oh, it just got done, so it's on its way over right now. But not done yet. Teleporter. We found Mean Machine's commander. Teleporter, 90%. Does have microwave laser finished. Is working on Tech 2 and Tech 3. We'll see where he goes with that. Meanwhile, Caliber pretty much gives everything over to Shady Socks. So I guess Caliber is pretty much thrown in the towel here. There's a game ender on the field, therefore the game is, over. Still got some good Tech 2 and Tech 3 out. Or Tech 3 and experimentals. These are all support commanders exploding. 90% sure. We have Mean Machine's commander down here. Shady Socks' commander is somewhere in this vicinity. Caliber still alive here with Ras and Tech 2 on his commander. And then for the northern team, we have Cheerios up here with his commander in this pond. And Normander's comm is somewhere. I don't know. It's somewhere. It's around here somewhere. There it is. Oh, it's getting hit by a satellite. I don't think there's enough to be able to kill Normander here. Everybody's pinging for strats, though. Oh, he does have a transport on the way. So his comm should be fine. I don't know what is going on here. Oh, there's a Tech 3 AA from Shady Socks here. It's going to take out the transport. Normander should be able to get into the water, though. That would have been epic if Shady Socks' Cougar that somehow sneaked its way back here would have taken out the transport after Normander loaded his commander on there. Air engagement, though, gunships as well as ASF coming in from Cheerios. The small amount of ASF left for Caliber, focusing entirely on the gunships. They're going to take out most of them. ASF still up, and because Caliber has essentially abdicated from the game, it's looking like Shady Socks is entirely the focus here. Meanwhile, Mean Machine teleported into Cheerios' space, done a pretty significant amount of damage here on Tech 3. Gonna take out a couple more factories. He probably should think about TPing out here. Got 5 ranks of vet. He would be able to make the teleport out from a time perspective, but maybe Mean Machine just thinks that his comm and the explosion that it's gonna deliver is worth more, and that's gonna be our second commander taken out of the game here at 47 minutes in Mean Machine, which means that Shady Socks is most likely going to inherit a lot of the stuff up here north. He's already gotten a lot of the mexes. There is another nuke going after Shady Socks' base as if he didn't have enough problems with the 3 Novaks pounding down as well as the Mavor up his ass. He's trying to get a Mavor of his own up here. I'm assuming that he doesn't have SMD. And Shady Socks knows that that nuke is coming for him. He probably does not have SMD. And is going to bow out there. Dorset, now the only player left in this game for team number 2. Where is Dorset's commander? Oh, I think Dorset also bowed out here. Dual comm explosion there. And things just fell apart really, really quickly here for team number 2. As Dorset decides to bow out with Control K, and that is going to be the end of the game here, where a lot of back and forth. Sneaky Mavor here. Arguably 5-head move. So better scouting might have helped, but I think also just better land pressure and better scouting could have also helped out for team number 2 on that side as well. They would have been able to know that they were, not up against a ton of land pressure on that side. But regardless, team 1 walks away with the victory, walks away with the W, and well played to team 1. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.